Okay, let's start. So, a little shout out to this music, Dermot Mac Flanchide H. Anyway, so I played well, there's this other, the next tournament, the Rapid, as always. There's the Rapid. Now I played one off stream, and let's see here. Well, let's just look at some analysis, because there's a way to transpose from the current tournament stuff into a totally different variant of the Scandinavian, and it's rarely played, so it's a little tricky. It's it would be normal to not be aware of it. So after takes, we are playing today the modern variation, and in fact, this tournament starts after this position right here. Now, so that's one of the... There's basically 4 main lines in the Scandinavian. This is the modern variation. Otherwise, this branches out into 3 variations. Now, you can play... Well, I guess there's a 5th variation with here, avoiding a lot of the main theory and other sidelines, But... then we have 3 variations here, here, and here. And now, from the modern variation that I just showed you, there's a way to transpose into this opening. And so usually, let's go to the masters, because D4 is the main move. D4, 85%, play D4, and then here. We can actually transpose to here from the modern variation, and I thought that was that surprised me. Okay, so let's look at how that works, and this could probably confuse your opponent. I mean, Scandinavian theory. I mean, a lot of people say, well, it's about ideas more than specific lines with the Scandinavian, and that's probably true. But I want to go deeper than that. I want to know a lot more about the theory. There are some important lines, here and there all over the place. Not as much as like the Najdorf and a lot of other openings, but there are lines to remember, and so it's already a bit confusing. A lot of things look similar. Okay, the queen here, here, here. Like, most people aren't really studying this stuff, right? Most people, if they're not at a very high level, they're just thinking about where to put their pieces. And so anyway, so it's a way to sort of camouflage and confuse, I think. If you transpose from the modern variation to this other variation, which is being called the Valencian Valencia variation, I guess. Valencian variation, supposedly. Let's see what they say here. Well, the oldest of all Scandinavian lines. Prior to the 20th century, it was considered the main line, characterized as best by Staunton. Okay. There are some grandmasters playing it. So, Valencian variation. So how do we get there from the modern? So with the modern, e takes here, and what we can do is it here we take with the queen? No. Here, normally d4 is played. 53% here. Well, there's a few lines here. I mean, this is from the modern. It can branch out. There's a bunch of moves. Bishop b5, knight f3, c4, etc. So c4 acts like you're holding on to the pawn, but you might give it up later. Anyway, there's a lot of moves. So in d4, the d4 line, normally knight takes d5. I prefer knight takes d5, but maybe bishop g4. But we can do this weird looking queen takes d5, and look at the percentages. It's first of all, it's 1% of moves at the master level, so very rare, and strongly, I mean, white is crushing it here, so why would you play this? Well, typically, at some point, they're going to kick your queen with tempo. And here's the thing. You just go back to queen d8. Because these other moves aren't going so hot, aren't doing so well. Although, I guess this transposes, probably, to the queen a5 lines. So that's the thing. It's probably just mainly transposing. And so, with queen d8... Do you see, we've now transposed to the Valencia variation. I'm not hallucinating, right? I'm not making a mistake here, right? Yeah, we've transposed here. Normally d4 and knight f6. We've transposed, the same. Oops. Takes here. So you can only do it after d4, and with the queen takes. Now they might play other moves, but eventually they are going to kick this queen, move back here, and you're transposing back into the other Valencia. So you started in the modern variation, you're now transposing into the Valencia. So I find that like a whole sort of a camouflaging, very confusing, crazy thing. Now, if you're against a very strong opponent who has the white pieces and they, well, maybe they know what they're doing and they realize they transpose, but they might, probably more likely they're playing based on principles and, you know, okay, I want to put my pieces here and so on. And in that case, all I'm saying is if you can get a lot of experience in this Scandinavian, and maybe all there's only four or five main variations in the Scandinavian. That's not a lot compared to a lot of other openings. So if you can get very familiar with it, it can be a very tricky, confusing thing to do, I think. So I thought that was interesting. I mean, we were doing a modern variation tournament, and boom, they took me into this other variation, which I was not expecting, and it's not very common, as you can see. 1% here, and it looks like this is a move that you would normally ignore in the database. Most people would probably. Okay. So I'm thinking of hopping back into the tournament, the rapid one now. Again, the starting position is here with black to move, and we're going to do knight takes d5. I just heard something. Maybe it was outside, hopefully. And okay, there's some moves. Usually I run into this, and then I was playing the second most popular move, bishop g4, but there's this Richter variation, and so I watched a video about it, and I'm totally not prepared properly, but I figured let's try to get the Richter variation and or try to transpose that weird transposition trick that I have learned about for the first time because of the game that I just played. I played one game off stream and I was like, wow, seems interesting. So if you watched the last stream, I was actually crushing it against a FIDE master. Are they here? I don't think they're here anymore. Like this, they had this FM thing next to their name. I see them in the tournaments often. They're usually the top rated. They're rated, I think 2400 something. I was crushing them. I was up in exchange, up 2 points. But I did, you know, fumble it, and they won the game. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't beat the FIDE master, but I was crushing them out of the opening, honestly. So we're going for these ideas here, and it's similar to the Alekhine. Alekhine here, after e4 and then blah blah blah. But the difference is you have a pawn here instead of here. So, but I mean, it depends on where we go from here. Wasn't I gonna take with the queen? Wasn't that? Okay, I was gonna take with the queen, but we can go for the Richter variation. And you know, it's hard sometimes watching videos to just figure out what's going on. So my technique is watch some videos, then try to play the positions. You learn a lot playing the positions, including there's always going to be all these sidelines that they don't talk about in videos. I think we can just kick away this bishop. They might come here. I think I've seen this line. Come here, and actually maybe here. I don't remember. But if I play these variations at least a handful of times, and then go back to the video and watch them again, then like, oh, okay, a lot of things will start making sense. So that's kind of what I'm up to. And ideas of c5 have been punishing me lately. And, you know, honestly, I'm not a fan. This is a King's Indian almost, except, you know, white's structure is totally different. And normally we have a pawn here, and I like to have the pawn here, and you fight for an e4. So I'm really kind of uncomfortable with this setup, if I'm being honest. Am I supposed to try to get a pawn here? Fight for e5? I said e4 earlier, I think. e5. I really don't know what to do. What the plan is, honestly. And this scene, and then here, seems like I'm getting my bishop in trouble. Don't want to get the knight over here. Actually, putting this knight over here was almost certainly better, I think. Well, I had tempo on the bishop. I'm not sure. I'm thinking just knight here. You know, that's a great square for a knight. You don't want to have it sitting there too long. Okay, do I have to play for the e5 square? I'm not sure. I'm protecting with 2, they're hitting with 3. Let's just go here. I don't like these kinds of pawn structures personally. Very weak on the dark squares. I think c6 is in order. Maybe c6 combined with the pawn here maybe is okay, actually. I'm blocking in my bishop. I don't like that. Oh, you know what? There are ways to have the pawns over here and then have the bishop here. I think that's better. That's one way to play, I think. The bishop is really awkward the way I'm playing. I don't like it. Don't like what I've done. It's how we learn. Richter variation of the... It's the Richter line of the Scandinavian Defence modern variation, I guess. Do I go here? Yeah, I'm not happy because I don't have clear plans, right? This is a problem for me. So what you want to do is have your middle game plans out of the opening. That's the key. Know your plans. Know thyself and know thy plans. Does this get me somewhere? I got tempo on a bishop, I guess. But would I think I would rather do it with the other knight. We have ideas of here. This is maybe not so bad. But I mean... Yeah, this probably moves away, later kicks my knight. We're stopping, or at least slowing this. That's a weak pawn they're targeting. This is very dangerous because of the X-ray. Here maybe... Maybe. I don't know. If you thought, hey, this guy doesn't know what he's doing, you're right. Don't know what I'm doing. Knight df3. Can't do that, they just take. Yeah, I don't like I keep complaining, I don't like this position. I'm a little cramped. No clear plans. Although it looks a little tough for white to make things happen as well. Possibly we want to develop the bishop. Yeah. It's a little... I gotta watch out for this move. Now, not only do I have this knight, but I have a knight to back up the knight. But I couldn't do, for example, this. We ran into this. I have a little chamisuru, Korean thing. Yeah, they're looking to dislodge that, hoping for fork tricks. I've connected my rooks, that was the idea. And possibly the diagonal is good for the bishop. Now I have no increments, so I can't take forever. That's a square for the knight, but I run into problems. Maybe further protect this square from any fork tricks. And this knight might... Where did I say it was good for the knight? I said maybe here? I mean, I don't see anything concrete. It's closer to the enemy camp. Maybe... No, I don't know. Pressure here. Do I kick? Do I kick? I like to kick. Now, question, is this rook misplaced after capture? After the capture? Maybe. Opening up my bishop. Maybe ideas here. Starting to get a little aggressive. We have ideas here, we have ideas here. And I sometimes like this. It's no, I can't because of this bishop here. Let's not do that. So this pawn is. So I'm also this. I don't know what to do with this pawn, right? What's up with the pawn? I don't know what to do. Should I have been fighting for e5? I don't know. Do I dare give them a passed pawn? Here I can just take it. Doesn't work. That pawn doesn't work. You gotta threaten checkmate if you want to get it. And you can take with check. You can take back. This pawn is hanging, by the way. They don't want to take that just yet. Now it's not hanging. Okay. Alright, they see the threats. Well done, mate. Now they're passed pawn, protected passed pawn. Do you count it as a passed pawn if there's a pawn here? I'm not sure. We gotta protect that pawn. Do we just go back? Probably. Hello. Oh, hi. Chaitanya Pathak Forever. Welcome back. How are you doing? How is it in India, right? Playing the Scandinavian Defence, modern variation, rapid tournament. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm not an expert, but I did prepare a bit for this tournament. Though I don't like how things are going in this game. The material's been even, but things are not going so well for me. Now they don't have a light squared bishop, so now I might be looking to push this pawn up the board gradually. However, they have this sack? Takes. Can they sack there? I can't take with the pawn because the queen would take. Anyway, queen moved. Let's just try to solidify a bit. Well, I don't know if this is solidifying, but I don't like how this is going. This is not going well. I don't want that exchange. Try to strike back. This is not good. Weak king side. His king side, very safe. My king side, eh. Hello, hello. Can you hear? You can hear me, right? So, I like this move. Takes. Messing up their pawn structure a little bit. I gotta worry about what's going on over here. If there's a rook, if there's gonna be a rook there. No. Okay, check. Here. Now my rooks are not connected. It's a bit annoying. This is scary. What do I do? It's all sort of a little scary. So with the queen there. Ignoring me? I'm old viewer. No, I remember you subscribed 6 days ago. It says it right here on my feed. Right there. Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you. I was focusing on the game. Material even-ish. No increment. I gotta move way faster, but probably lost, to be honest. Mainly because my rooks are not connected. It's a bit of a problem. I think they go here, strong. Again, rooks not being connected. No bueno. It's not good. But at least if the thing comes here, I have them connected, but maybe here, but I don't think I have time. I do remember you, yes. You came at the same time. Adolf Bin was chatting with us. And yes, I remember. There's nothing to do. I wish I had an increment, then I'd be okay. Here, maybe. That will win the pawn. They'll go for this pawn. But then I'll take here, blah, blah, blah. Need to start attacking here. Yeah. Maybe a perpetual here. Give me a second for the chat, and I got 10 seconds and no increment. Okay, they're taking. Alright, we have a winning game, but I don't know if I have time. I'm winning. Very winning. Yes! Look at that performance at the end. All those pre-moves. Hello Logan. How's it going? Logan Archer. How are you doing? Where are you from? Well, that was intense at the end there. That was intense. Okay. I have to watch some videos about this Richter. It's called Richter. I don't know if you guys are interested in the theory, but we are in the modern variation of the Scandinavian, and this is the Richter variation after g6. Otherwise, that's the most popular move. Bishop g4 is a line. I was playing this in the last live stream a couple hours ago. But now I'm doing g6. So yeah, they played a inaccuracy here. And bishop c4, so it's supposed to be equalish, and this has been played once, and we're still in master database territory here until this move. Anyway, I will analyze that more another time. SC USA. South Carolina. Nice. If you occasionally look at chat, of course I do. Yeah, I look at chat. I can suggest. Oh, yeah, you can suggest. I typically I make my move and then I look at chat. So I just don't want to. I think it's unfair, right? If I like if a grandmaster comes into the chat, that would be amazing, but you see what I mean? Like it's a little unfair to my opponents. But I like the suggestions. So I make the move, I look at the chat, and the suggestions, they help me out, you know, of course. Very good. Yeah. Of course, sometimes I can still do the suggestion in the next move, but that whatever. Nothing's perfect. So I've looked at this. I think this is basically the main line, and we can still do this pretty much always until if we put that knight there at some point. I haven't seen. Well, this is a common move in the Scandinavian, but usually you don't see it here just yet. Maybe here. Maybe here. You're 1500. Nice, nice. Yeah. By all means. Okay, and they've just moved back. And this looks solid. Bishop d3. I'm actually going to put the bishop on e2 and just get castled. The reason I wanted the bishop here, well, now that they've moved here, it was okay. Usually, often they're pinning here, and you might want the bishop there. I'm not too worried about this, I don't think. I'm okay with that. And we might do the pin ourselves here. They gave up the bishop pair. That looks like a nice square for that bishop. I gotta develop that one. Maybe get the queen over here. This reminds me of like a Nimzo Indian kind of Samish pawn structure here. So now this looks tempting. Looks a little tempting. Maybe solidify it. I like this. Now they'll try to trade. They'll try to get rid of this with take it with the knight somehow, but it's not trivial. They can't move the knight here with their rook stuck there. You know, it's a little painful. I have the pawn to back it up again. But do I want to do something like this maybe? My pawn structure is getting effed up anyway. But I don't think I do like it actually. What else? What other ideas do we have? Just get the rooks on decent squares, maybe? If they pin, then move pawn. That's true. You're right. If pin, move the pawn, and then if they move back here, and then there were knight e5 ideas. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. You're right. Okay, how about this? Let's see what they do here. They don't have here. All of these are protected. They just move back. Don't they look silly now? But I like this idea here, but I think they take and then... Okay, maybe it's okay. Because this bishop will be extra solid, and it's still hard to remove. They want the knight to remove the bishop, but it's not easy. So I like this square for the bishop eyeing here. I think they just do something like this. We have ideas though. We have ideas. Actually, I think f4 was... I should have done f4 first, maybe? We don't quite win the pawn yet. Now we have that threat, and I'd like to play a 4 if possible. In some lines, well, okay. I can en passant. Could en passant, is that good? Let's see with the en passant, because I can put the bishop here, and then the rook is in trouble. Rook is in trouble here. Queen e4. Queen e4. I don't remember when you were talking about. Takes, probably. Okay. So I'd like to maybe get a rook on this file here. I don't see the threat with the queen. I think they're a little desperate-ish. And I'm thinking of putting a rook here as well. Advancing towards the enemy camp and the enemy king. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of... sometimes it's hard to figure out when people suggested things. There are these... you can see the numbers over here. That might help. I can go back and look and all that. But whatever you want. And sometimes there's a delay. It's supposed to be like a low delay, but I don't think it. It doesn't work. I think the delay can be a little long sometimes. Maybe if I have more subscribers, YouTube will give me better latency or something. Possibly. And I feel like there's a tactic or something, but I don't know that I need to bother even. Although I'd like to be threatening, well, yeah. I mean, if I move the queen away, we have this idea, but it's super protected, I guess. This pawn is weak. This pawn is weak. Where's a good square for the queen? Here, maybe? Well, for one, we gotta protect this rook. Second, if this knight moves away, we have... No, we don't. The bishop's there, never mind. And I probably want to get space, breathing space for my king, so I don't have potential back rank issues, possibly. Maybe I'll threaten this pawn, because I'd love to have this square for my bishop, for my queen as well. Okay. Well, I wanted the space. Did want the space. Move back. This could be a that's probably a problem with the fork here. Don't know about that. Be really careful not to make any blunders, huh? Oh, they did the fork anyway. This doesn't work because the rook is in trouble. Rook is in trouble. It's a bummer. So I'm going to lose this bishop, and we have ideas of taking here at some point. But we need to move the rook somewhere else first. Where does this rook want to go? If they move here, putting a lot of pressure. ideas of doing that, taking, etc., etc. Otherwise, I'm just moving it away from the attack by the queen. Yeah, I like this. Pressure on this pawn. Pressure on the knight. Also, we have this idea, but this is dubious. They will sack. They should sack. Here, this is probably where they go. See how it plays out. They're up a pawn, up a point. They went that way. Yeah, they're threatening to win the queen because of the pin. Good move. Good move. Do I kick the knight? I think we maybe kick it. Kick it, yo. They still can take. Ah, they're tricky. Very tricky. Alright, keeping the threat on the pawn, protecting this pawn. If I can get this pawn with the queen, we have open up for a lot of ideas against the king. I didn't think about that, unfortunately. So they got a little tempo there, but now they have to move the knight back. Take it with the rook. It's a little sketchy, honestly. I mean, they come in here. But this rook is just chilling the whole game. Doesn't give an F that there's a chess game going on. It's not even aware. It's just asleep. It's been asleep the whole time. So good square against the knight. Cannot be hit by the bishop. Protecting the pawn. Now for them, maybe ideas here. Getting into my base. Killing my dudes. That's the way. Wow. I didn't expect that. Did not. Oh, it's ugly. It's painful. They started playing like a master the last 15 moves. It's painful. Pain City. And then the rook comes alive. Here, the rook comes alive. Son of a bee. Here, rook comes alive. Against the wall. Or there. I didn't expect that. Why wouldn't they want to develop their rook? Here. Or there. Pain City. Here. Hold on. Here. And... I mean, is it forced? First of all, I'm not going to take with the queen. It's forced. So we'll do the move. Now they can perpetual... Oh, yeah, they can check me immediately. That's the thing as well. So it was actually forced that I sack my queen there. Terrible. That was brutal. I mean, c4 is also... We haven't seen it much in the games I've played yet. So I played the best move here. c4, knight f6, knight c3. This is an inaccuracy, I guess. You said... Logan Archer said bishop d3. So they said it's not labeled as an inaccuracy, but I lost a tenth of a point, I guess. But according to the computer, bishop d3. Okay. More active square for the bishop. Queen c2. One of the top moves. I mean, I'm surprised we're actually still in... oh, this is Lee chess. I thought we were looking at Masters. Gotta be careful. No, we already left the Masters a long time ago, of course. Yeah. We're in Lee chess territory. And... I mean, it's plus 2.5 for white here. So, let's see. I made a huge... well, there were tactics that were missed by both of us, is what this graph is saying. So, they could have taken the bishop. And they missed this tactic here, but they got it later on in the game. Yeah, now, then they get it. They came back and they got it. And went downhill from there. A lot of lessons to be learned. All right. Next game. Here, was that the only move? We also talked in the beginning about this. Yeah. So they can probably transpose to, yeah, all the other lines, actually. So it's a transfer... Oh, sorry, I bumped the mic. It's a transposition to something that's totally not the modern variation. It's the... Actually, it's called the... What is it called? Valencian variation. One of the four main branches in the Scandinavian. 4 or 5 branches, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, what were the moves? This is probably a move. I think this is a move, but I don't like it. I don't know. Maybe that's not a move. No. So, yeah. I think we move the knight here. Actually, I think we can trade these off. So they're stopping here. Oh, that wouldn't be a thing, but they have to go here because I'm threatening to take there. So they're stopping this, right? Yeah, I think so. Why do they want to do this setup? Make it really hard for me to play d5. I kind of like this very solid knight here. Takes, we have this very solid pawn structure we can form. Now, this looks attractive, but no, I think they're inviting this because takes with tempo on the queen. However, takes with tempo on the bishop, and I actually like that. I like that. Pre-move just to mess with their head. Oh, they took with the bishop. I was not expecting that. I could have maybe not pre-move, maybe bad pre-move. I was not expecting the bishop to take. All right. Nice solid pawn chain. And pressure here as well. So takes, tempo on the queen, ideas of here. But I realize this is also hitting it. 3 against 3. Does not work. Do I kick the knight? Where does the knight want to go? I think the knight wants to exchange with my knight, right? Am I helping him? If they block, then we can do our thing. So the knight is running around not knowing where to go. I'm getting tempo, pushing these pawns. I have this is a pawn majority. Now the knight is probably trapped, except that for this we gotta move here, protecting here. Now the knight has nowhere to go. So it would seem. Threatening to take with it as well. Here with tempo. Yeah, I just realized they have tempo on the queen. Tempo versus tempo. Gotta be more careful, because they're up a pawn now. Though this pawn will probably fall. But my pawn structure is not good either. Got an isolated pawn. And actually maybe this pawn's not gonna fall. But I have, well, at least I have this pawn majority here. That's my only strength. And a space advantage. They're looking at that. Also stopping ideas here. So I'm going to play for this pawn majority right here. Do they realize that this is a problem for them? I'm not sure. Well, they're giving space for the king. I think they realize this is a problem. Should be able to take the pawn, right? But takes doesn't work. I gotta move the queen out of the way. Now they're protecting. Add pressure. I don't think it works. It's not good. We take here now. Should be winning a rook. Yeah. Order of taking tactic. Is that a thing? Or is that just an ordinary tactic? All the tactics. Most of the tactics are like that, huh? Alright, let's check the beginning a bit. So, queen takes... Let's go to the masters. This is all about transposing. So, knight c3. They can transpose to the 3 other variations. And this is a misleading thing. This is just based on 6 games. In reality, after the transposition, 37% to 22%. Knight f3. So we're in a totally different variation. We're in the Valencian variation. The queen to d8 line. And so they went for bishop f5. Bishop d3 is a move. Actually, it's scoring great for white. 10 games, no losses. What does the computer say? Computer says here, 95 is getting the most wins, but it's a bit double-edged. Yeah, this, I was thinking, there's some tactics. I was thinking about this move, but I missed it. I didn't... Why did I miss it? Because here, he just takes. Can't do here. You gotta lose a pawn. I don't know why I didn't, I had a brain malfunction there. Okay. So, some inaccuracies played by me were pretty even. And, mistakes by my opponent. Yeah, the knight is trapping itself, basically. But, I screwed up here. This was a big blunder. Ah, right, because I didn't notice. I saw I was getting tempo on the rook. I didn't notice that when they take, they have tempo on the queen, which sort of overrules any tempo on a rook. So I had to take back. And they were up a pawn here. Okay. And we played with them being up a pawn, but they screwed up the tactic here. Actually, this was a problem already. Because they're allowing me to take here now. And, I mean, this was still... They were losing 3 points to make it equal, but then they really screwed up here. They missed this. And that was the game. That is the synopsis. One more game, probably. Great for the chess. Playing all these various openings. Very good for the chess. Good for the chess brain. So, I'm saying let's take here. We will transpose into other lines. And why not the Valencia? Which is what we just saw the opponent do. I like this transposition idea because I think it's a little more confusing than normal Scandinavian stuff. You might also be avoiding some weird sidelines, maybe. I think that's a normal place to put the bishop. We can do this, but we might... do we want to do here? I think this is a move. I don't think it's the best. I'll do it anyway. I think they have to kick. There. Do I add pressure? Probably move forward. I've run into trouble with that kind of stuff. Let's avoid that. Nah, it's too risky. Too risky. Getting the bishop here, castling. This is the square for the bishop. Knight goes here. We castle. Now they've moved their bishop twice, they're losing tempo. Playing less than ideal for sure. Well, they didn't like that the bishop was pointing into this, into pure concrete. Pawn-crete. Sorry, I made myself laugh. It was very dumb. Pawn concrete. And I wouldn't like it either. That's why you don't... Well, do you put your bishop there? I don't know. I've seen a lot of lines where they do. Or do we take? No, that's suicide. We don't do that. So now I've wasted a tempo with my bishop. You know what? No, this is wrong. I played it wrong. It's here. Duh. It was here. Mistake. Loss of tempo. I'm actually really... This is like a Caro-Kann kind of setup, right? The pawns. Kind of digging it. This seems scary, this sacrifice. Very scary to me. Where do we go for? Although, this looks solid, but I don't really know what the plans are, if I'm being honest. Maybe F5 at some point? I think they should kick my bishop. Screw up my pawn structure a little. Although opening this file is maybe bad for them. Okay, they've done that in a weird way. I didn't expect. They don't like this knight here. It's fine. I like this pawn structure. And if they take here, I like having the file open. Are they going to trade bishops? That's fine. Let's develop a rook. Now, I think, actually, maybe they have a good idea. Because this pawn will be very weak, very backwards. I don't think I want to take the other way, do I? Maybe that's the way, but I don't know. It's not my style. Not yet. I'm gonna not pre-move. I'll give myself a chance to think. This would be a very new kind of move for me. But you know what? This pawn being very weak might be a big problem for me. I'm gonna take here. I'm gonna take this way. We have a, aggressive pawn ideas, I think. I mean, I think the position's pretty equal, to be honest. But for our level, if we're not grandmasters, even though the position is equal, there's all kinds of things to do. Let's avoid the X-ray. We don't like the X-ray. They don't have these squares for the knight to attack the queen. This is just a little bit too aggressive just yet. In fact, I don't know if I'll play that at all. It's pretty drawish. This might be the way, but I don't know. And this might be it. Yeah. Now, if they had bishops of some kind, these pawns, I feel like they would be weak, worse. But I mean, the knight's not coming in here, you know. Maybe you put a knight here. Here is a great square for their knight. Where's a great? Where's a great square for my knight? Here, I guess. So I'm realizing that this pawn structure is a little better for white, maybe? Because this is a great square for the knight. And this is a mediocre square for the knight. They just kick it. Me kicking it creates a huge weakness. Possibly. But does that also create a weakness? Maybe I want to induce the weakness. Maybe that's the plan. Induce the weakness. Knight on good square, induce weakness, go back. They start pushing. We can start chopping things up, making all kinds of weak pawns. Because this is actually pretty solid, I think, for what pieces are on the board. If all the pieces were on the board still, I'd be more worried. But all right, I think simply. I don't want to trade queens. However, this does not run into this yet, but could run into it later. Possibly just here. Just move back. Ideas here. Okay, coming in with the pawn. Interesting. Interesting. They have to protect this pawn, so they go back here. We add pressure. Do we add pressure? Here, we're trading queens. I don't like that. Takes pressure on the pawn. I'll win a pawn, I think, maybe. Maybe I'll win a pawn. I actually think this kind of scares me, this stuff. If we trade, just this pawn structure is... it's weak. Because they start attacking here, these two pawns, and then moving them forward is terrible for your king safety there. Okay, I was expecting kick, actually. And then here, takes, and then I was thinking I would win a pawn, even if they move forward, takes. And, I mean... Is this a move? That's just a trade of queens. Full stop. Alright. I'm hoping for the kick. I want the kick. They're not kicking. I think I have to take. Okay, so now we trade queens, because I don't like what's happening on my king side at all. What about this? What do I do? Here? Here? It's getting very scary, you know. Threatening checkmate. Here. Am I okay? I think I'm okay, actually. Alright, whatever. I'll do it. Well, they didn't kick. That was the whole plan. But now we're just trading queens because I don't like what's happening on the king side. Okay. Ah, they did the thing. They're doing the thing. It's good stuff. We have this, though. Okay, perpetual? Is that what you're going for? You dirty, pestilent child. You're doing it, aren't you? I have to accept it. I can't go over here. The queen will come in. I'll get checkmated. Yes. You're gonna draw, I know. Good job. They're like, yes, draw against stronger opponent. I mean, you had the white pieces. Whatever. Okay. We went here. And this is a transposition to the Valencian variation. And we saw bishop c4, second most popular move. And we saw the bishop g4, 10% of games. Not doing well for black. Bad move. Which I kind of thought. I thought it was a move, but I don't like it, actually. But the computer doesn't really seem to mind this move too much. But who knows? I'll take the database over the computer, to be honest. And there was f3, bishop g2. Sorry. I played e6. We're still in book. And we're out of book. They were going to play f3. But that bishop is awkward, right? What are the other ideas here? Right. Actually, I remember this from my preparation. a6, c6. Isn't that what I said? Ah, I said this in a previous game, like the bishop being a pain. Go here, and then bishop here. Here, bishop here. That's the idea behind a6. Knight f3, b5, bishop b3. Look at that. Scoring well for black. We can do bishop b7 already, but apparently this is good. I don't know if I have the cojones for this one. I don't think a lot of opponents are going to play a4 against me. So, alright, try to remember this position. This is looking nice for black. I like this. We can still go g6 if we feel like playing g6. And I like it. Could play at a4. What do we do? No, just knight c6. Just forget about that idea and do other things, I guess. I don't know. I wish the tournament were longer, actually. Beep. So, let me see something. The tournaments start again at 4 or 5. Ah, King's Gambit declined. So it's Falkbeer? Okay. Falkbeer. So let me think. So right now it's nighttime. The afternoon is... Here it's nighttime. When it's afternoon here, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when the first tournament comes out. I don't know how to see, like, I want to know what the future tournaments are going to be. But, like, I know the next tournament is the Trumpovsky, because we had it earlier today at 1 p.m. here. So the next tournament is Trumpovsky, yeah. But it'd be nice if I could know, like, more of the future. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how they decide the tournaments, to be honest. So, we got an elite bullet arena. That sounds cool. Alright, that's it. I actually would like to continue. But you know what? It's really not hard to get a lot of Scandinavian games in your own games. Like, a lot of openings, you study, you do all this preparation, and then your opponents play other moves, right? Like, I've been wanting to do the martial attack ever since we had it in a tournament, which I think was like a week ago or something. Maybe it was a few days ago, I don't remember. And I've played so many games trying to get the martial attack, not once. Like, it always diverges. But with the Scandinavian, I mean, as soon as the opponent plays e4, 1e4, boom, Scandinavian, and they cannot change it. There are lines that transpose to Karl Kahn, Panov Botvinnik variation. There's also an improved French defense, one particular line. But generally speaking, you're in the Scandinavian after that, and it doesn't. Most of the lines don't transpose. So, all right. So I'm going to start playing these more. I've played the Scandinavian a little bit with black, and I got bored with it because I didn't really know. There's so many possibilities. I didn't really know what to do, to be honest, and so it's really good that these tournaments come up. Of course, I run into it with the white pieces because I play e4, not exclusively, but I play it more often than not. So I run into it all the time. So this is just an incredible resource to be playing these tournaments, because if you just watch videos, it's not sufficient, is it? Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you, and goodbye. Have a nice day.
人生を少しだけ豊かにしてくれる。自由に旅できない時代が教えてくれたのは、自由に旅できることの大切さだった。日本へ出かけよう。日本中を何度でも旅してもらうため、大江戸温泉物語とゆかりリゾートは2024年11月一つになります。